in to the earnings corner. ABB has reported an inline set of numbers for its Q4 calendar 25 earnings, and the reported profit has jumped 18% on a year-on-year basis. My colleague Sajid had caught up with the MD and country head Sanjeev Sharma and the CFO TK Sridhar of ABB to know more on the company and the roadmap ahead. Let's listen into this slice of that conversation.
I think the breadth of our portfolio, I think customers in the market have a lot of respect for something which is built in the country and delivered to them, especially in the fast-moving industrial goods, which is 75% of our portfolio. There are here and there few projects wherein customers prefer to source outside the country. And of course, in those segments, you see China as one of the suppliers. So it's on the minor side of things, not on the majority of the market segment and the product segments that we have.
Sridhar, you spoke briefly about the margin compression with respect to raw materials. How do you see margins going into 2026? Are they going to be still under pressure because of the commodity prices, as you mentioned, are rising as well?
So I think the question is, how are you able to manage the pricing in the market vis-a-vis the commodity price? So I think it's more of a demand-supply situation, what will start to play out. So I think if the private CapEx is definitely able to put up its space in the market, so naturally we see that demand will increase, and that will probably support better pricing going forward. So long story short, I think our efforts are making sure that we need to sustain these margin corridors as what we are here today at 12% is what we see at the PAT levels. And going forward, depending upon how the demand plays out, I think our ability to price it out in the market also will go alongside.
And are you able to get pricing strength in the market, Sanjeev, with respect to the way you are able to bid for various projects, or there is a severe competition which is there in the market for all the goods?
I think we have fair competition in the market, and it varies in intensity in different businesses and different product categories. So I would say India is a reasonably mature market in terms of competition. But at the same time, the size of the market is increasing, the breadth of the market is increasing, and at the same time, customers' ability to demand premium products or something which is more reliable, better serviceable products, I think that's where we see the highest growth. And we are in a good spot there because our products are global products, localized for manufacturing locally with the local supply chains, and customers are supporting that aspect with the multinational product available for their consumption locally. So we do see, yes, competition intensity is there, but the market segments and the premium market segment that we operate, I think we do have a preference in the mind of the customers.
How do you look at some of the newer emerging sectors like a data center? What kind of opportunity that brings in for ABB? You mentioned in your release as well that in Q4 you had a good significant order coming in from data centers as well. So which are the areas that you are able to tap into and where you have a competitive edge with respect to going to the market and offering those products?
So data centers we are a global, very strong global player in data center market. And, a data center has two main components. One is the computing power, other is the power that helps that computing power. So we are in the business of delivering that power to the data centers and also reliable, available, and serviceable, power infrastructure for data centers. So that's what we participate globally. And also in India for last many years, as the data center market is picking up, especially in the hyperscale as well as the next level data center, size data center, our presence is quite strong. So we find that over a period of time, our order books are quite healthy with data center segments. So about two or three businesses out of 18 participate for the data center, and we see the growth in this area quite robust in coming years.
And how do you look at localization as well? Are you able to, now localize much better and much more compared to earlier in terms of, the product offerings that you're giving?
So we are manufacturing in this country for last 75 years. So last year was our 75th year of manufacturing. So we have most of ABB's product portfolio here in the country, and it's part of our local to local manufacturing strategy globally. We localize products as our strategy and also integrate those localized supply chains to our global network. So there, our localization rates in certain products is almost 100%. But whenever there are key technologies like power electronics, wherein the local supply chains are not built or suppliers are not built, those components still get imported by us. But as a strategy, we continue to localize, and as the market is expanding, we bring much more wider product portfolio for the country and localize it. So that's part of our consistent strategy over the years.
Sridhar, what is the kind of hedging strategy that you have to counter commodity inflation?
I think every multinational is applies to every multinational company. So we follow a very conservative hedging policy in the sense that whenever we have an exposure to any currency, we do the hedging then and there. We don't have any models to wait and then hedge. So that's sort of a very well thought through policy. So that from the time on which when we have got the orders into the books, so it's a time from where we start the hedging process, and they are on gross basis. It's not a net basis as well. So the purchase orders, what we issue to the suppliers, and the sales orders which we get from the customers are both hedged individually, and therefore we are able to mitigate this risk on time and with a better strategy on an ongoing basis.
Mm-hmm. And how do you look at the net working capital cycle, because that seemed to have gone up as well?
Yeah, slightly has gone up, and that's more because of a strategic decision that we had to take to get some material in advance to service our growing backlogs. And also we had a topic of QCO to be handled in this current year, and so that's exactly why we got some more material stock with us so that we could service the customers without any delay, and that therefore could help improve the brand image of ABB in the markets.
Mm. Sanjeev, how are you managing the QCO issue, because that's creating a problem for the industry as well as a whole? So, from your point of view, how are you looking at it?
Well, QCO is something wherein the demand of the customer of our products is constant. So what we do is whatever we commit, we deliver, whether we manufacture it locally or we get it from other factories. So QCO is not something which I'm handling. I think it is the government and the policy makers are handling it, and our interaction, they're very sensitive to industry feedback, and I think they are adjusting and adapting so that it is a policy which favors their intention, but also helps the industry to kind of use more and more localized products. Yeah.
But
And
I think to supplement to what Sanjeev was mentioning, the government is of course very considerate to this particular fact. So they are always making sure that the businesses, that the trade gets enough time to adapt to this particular policies, and there have been periodical interventions and extensions of that so that we get more time, and that could help us totally. I mean, that's how it is, and I think we really appreciate that.
And do you see some of the trade deals that has happened so far, where India is supposed to ease off QCOs as well, impacting you any way, or in the way you're going to bid for the projects going forward?
So as we said that we have a fast-moving industrial goods business, which is almost to the tune of 75%. So that is something more channelizing the products and solutions in the market. So that part has its own life. But as far as the large projects or the base products or the base business is concerned, I think over a period of time, all these free trade agreements will have a net positive effect, because we have a lot of technologies which are available throughout the world. And as India opens up and allows technology exchange, I think two-way trade will only increase going forward, and we'll be participant in it and positive participant in it.
That's
And